Hello, everybody, and welcome to Paranormal Nation Radio. Not so normal. Hello, Nigel.
Hey,
He's
Nigel.
always he's always in there quick.
I think he's in
So
before us.
right. So how's Ron and Denise doing this Tuesday evening?
Doing good.
Nice and quiet,
Yeah, it's
I
quiet
think.
around here. Sun's
Well, thank
shining.
goodness.
Yeah, after all these storms that
Yeah,
went through the Midwest, and everybody put prayers out for the people in Oklahoma that got hit real hard
yeah.
down
I
there
know.
last.
We watched it go straight through um, the first town and then Bartlesville
Right.
and Dewey. And, our friend Christopher Pittman lives there in
Bartlesville.
Bartlesville, and their long term investigation project is the Dewey Hotel
Yeah.
in
Right.
Dewey. So it's like, oh crap. And so I was talking to them, and then we heard Smithville got hit again.
Yeah.
And so I talked to Katie, and she sent me some videos of everything that they're okay.
Good.
And so we also saw that the entire area that we used to live in had some kind of storm. So yeah, prayers for everybody who's affected by the storms for another week. And I got a feeling it's going to happen again next week.
I do too. And also prayers for those down in Texas where it's flooding like crazy
Well,
down
I mean,
there.
these storms are just building up right there on top of them. I mean,
Mhm.
we're
You
watching.
had a lot of rain too, didn't you? Like, what did you say, 9 inches?
Well, we've had 9 inches of rain in the last 10 days.
Wow.
So just
We got
basically
4 inches
one night.
last night.
Man.
And then, of course, you got Susan and Mike down there in Springfield that are storm chasers, but the storms are coming to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't have
all they
to
got to
move.
do is go out in their front yard and film and say, "Yeah, it's here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I told Denise, I said, send them a text and see if they're going to storm chase. And then I'm looking at the radar and I went, they might as well just stay home.
yeah, keep the car
Well,
in the garage. and don't have to
Although
deal
it
with it.
did yesterday, it looked really nasty. I mean, it was
Well,
expecting some bad
did
stuff.
you see
It could have been
today?
worse. I'll
Today,
put it
after
that
the
way.
storms went through here, they were in eastern Missouri, all the
Yeah.
way from the Canadian line,
Yeah.
almost all the way to the Gulf,
I
was
know.
a storm line heading east.
Yeah. And you know what we got? Zero. We
Yeah,
have not seen any
it
rain.
was raining to our west in Louisiana, but nothing.
Nope.
Right.
Mike,
Nigel,
glad
we're
it only
all
came
safe
within 10
in
miles of
both
you.
Yeah.
places in Missouri and Florida and everything. And I'm glad you're doing okay over there. But yeah, I mean, it's these storms and the way that storm was last night coming directly east out of Kansas, and then a storm there from Kansas coming up and hit right there at Kansas City and St. Joe, Missouri line and made a full line headed east across there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh crap, we got northeast winds coming up. We got east winds going to collide with it.
Yep.
That'll start some circular motion. But luckily, it didn't. I mean, we didn't even have tree limbs down. It didn't. The wind blew. You could hear the rain hitting the side of the house real hard last night.
Yeah.
But I went out this morning. The trash can wasn't even blown over like it usually does in a 20-mile-an-hour wind.
Well, that's good. I'm glad, because I mean, we were listening to, we had the Weather Channel on. We're seeing Bonner Springs and Blue Springs and, Smithville. And we're looking at the map and it's like, shit, there's Carl up there.
Mhm.
Gary's down here. So we were really concerned. And of course, we had Mike and Susan down there. I mean, we knew people in every single place
Yeah.
these storms were hitting. And it
Well,
was worrisome.
Yeah, from watching all this, I told Denise, I said, I just realized we know a lot of people everywhere.
Well, yeah, same way
You
with
know?
me. I know a lot of people in all parts of the United States are hosts and everything. See that one did well, Bartlesville, and then the other one they hit down there in Oklahoma was only an hour away from Mike and Tammy down there. So, yeah, because they're just south of Tulsa,
Yeah.
a
Yep.
little ways there. So,
Well,
yeah,
Jeep is in Tulsa.
Hello,
No.
Mom.
So
So you headed over to my brother's house this morning.
at
And
4
Mike
p.m.
said there are 19 tornadoes, Kansas, Missouri.
between
Yeah.
Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma last night.
I wonder how many will be confirmed that there were more than that.
Oh yeah, I'd say all 19 probably were confirmed. I was watching
Oh,
I
Ryan
would think that
Hall,
there were more.
y'all, on YouTube,
yeah.
and he would get the weather notifications and reports of tornadoes. So everything was reported, and he would show you the hook and take you down close to where it was at and tell you almost the street and the buildings that it was going to hit.
You said it's Brian Hall?
Ryan.
Hall.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
look
who's
it up
that?
on YouTube. He's one of the best weather guys I follow, especially during storms.
Down here, it's Spinks.
Yeah.
We got this guy Spinks, and he's the only one that really covers the bad weather down here.
Was that Joe Bastardi? He's one of the best. He said he goes, I have to be right because he goes, I have companies that actually pay me, especially if they go out, offshore drilling and that. He goes, I have to be right or they can get killed.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, I can't be wrong. And he said, I'm always right. And this guy, he's really
a
good.
lot of these YouTubers that do the weather reports, meteorologists that do the weather reports and everything, they're more on the ball and on the dot than your news station weather guys are.
It's quite possibly could be because it's going to affect them.
Yeah, it's
Brian Hall, y'all.
Okay, I was gonna say,
that's who it is.
And
what I like about him, he's got sponsorship and people donate. He takes all that money. He just got a new warehouse up in Omaha, a 30,000 square foot warehouse up there to store blankets, generators, chainsaws, everything you need after the storm goes through.
He got like in the corners, he got like, ding, 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 all the different people donating and all that.
Yep. Yeah.
I saw his broadcast on
that's just
the Weather Channel.
That's kind of, I don't know, distracting to me, but
it is, but it shows the people who are helping and all this and that. Yeah, the one that hit down there in north of Nashville here a month or so ago.
Yeah. Well, they got one yesterday.
He took $100,000 worth of stuff down there. Water, blankets, chainsaws, generators, tarps, everything to get them back on to what they need. Yeah, Susan. I watch him all the time.
So I got us a guest. So
Right.
with as horrifying as the weather is, and we care about everybody out there. So if I didn't reach out, it's because I knew you were okay. So just be careful if you're out there in these storms. Pay attention to look up every once in a while from your phone and see what's going on outside.
We're up in Chicago. We don't care about them.
That's not true.
Except for Tom.
And Nick and all those guys over there.
Dustin,
they're south of it.
So see, yes, we even those of you in Chicago, we do care. So, but tonight I got Rosalie. She is
the teachers union building.
She's a friend of mine. We went to her wedding last year when she came to town, and she's been listening to me since I got on Ken and Farrah's show, Demonology Today. And I thought I'd have her on because she is a paranormal enthusiast and she has a lot of knowledge about the paranormal. And I don't think she gets a lot of chances to share it. And she meets a lot of people. She goes to a lot of the paranormal conferences. So she knows some of the inside scoop on some of the people. But I'm not going to ask her about that because that becomes a problem. But I'd like to hear about some of the conferences she's went to and some of the people she's met. So that would be nice. So welcome, Rosalie. Maybe.
And
There she is.
it's frozen
There.
again. Hi.
You're
Hi.
well. We
You're-
can hear
And you
you.
You're good.
So,
Okay, because you guys are freezing up every few minutes, and so I'm missing a little bit of each sentence there. But
Right.
hi.
well, then I'll ask fast.
Mhm.
So, Rosalie, how did you get involved in the paranormal to begin with?
When I was 10, many millions of years ago, I guess it would be, I mean, to me, it was nothing, but I was visited by, I guess, a full body apparition. This woman, a family member, well, friend of the family, and she was kind of young. She was probably in her 20s. I hero worshipped her. And they used to come, our big Italian family, everybody would show up at our house on Sunday evenings and hang out. So I'd be up in my room, supposedly top of the stairs, kind of peeking down, listening to stuff. And one night, everybody down there was crying, and apparently the woman had died. And so a week or so later, and she would always, whenever she was there, she would make sure to come into my room, sit down, and just talk to me for a little bit, tell me to be a good girl and all that stuff. And, just say hi and I love you and all that. And abide, I was just drifting off, and somebody was coming up the stairs. They came into my room. It was her, and it didn't connect at the time because I was half asleep. And she sat down just like she always did. She talked to me for probably 15 minutes. And when she was leaving, she said, just make sure you're going to be a good girl. And I'm like, okay. She left. And then all of a sudden I sat up and like, wait a minute, she's dead, So I wasn't afraid at all because she was the most wonderful person in the world. And 60s, you don't talk about stuff that your parents are going to tell you you're crazy or whatever, especially Italian parents. And then, so many years later, I ran into somebody and I didn't say a word at all. So I was in my 20s, and I got a job, and the girl I was working with is like a distant cousin. And I asked her if she remembered Bruna, and she goes, that was my aunt. And let me tell you what happened. She was a kid in Italy when Bruna passed away. She said they were out in the yard playing, and here comes Aunt Bruna, was her aunt. And they ran into the house to tell her mother, and her mother's on the phone, and she hung up. She goes, it's impossible. She died. So that's, that did it. And, so then I started reading everything I could. But yeah.
What'd she die from?
She died from, no, they didn't really talk about it, so they wouldn't tell me as a kid,
Yeah.
But I found out years and years. Yeah.
She was in her 20s. That's just pretty young.
Yeah, because, well, she had come to Italy. Her husband, she was married. He was in the service in Italy. And I guess she cheated on him or whatever. But it was pretty horrific from what I overheard as a child. But nobody ever talked. All I know is she was an amazing person, and I loved her like, a family member, like an older sister or an aunt or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of started my curiosity going.
Yeah, there's always a catalyst. And that's why I always try to ask that, because it seems to be different for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were talking over Messenger, you said that you don't do very many paranormal investigations, but you do investigate sometimes, right?
I have. I joined a group because I didn't know you could even do that stuff, Probably 15 or years ago or whatever, I went to a talk at Barnes and Noble, and the person that was her book and all that, she said you could join the group, and I did, and that's how I met my very close friend now. The way it's supposed to be. She would charge people. I didn't know that none of that was, I had no clue. This was new to me. So she would charge people she would charge us as members $55 a year to be a member. If anybody wanted to go to any of the meetings that weren't members, they had to pay $12 or something. If somebody needed help, it was $100 just to talk to her.
Dang.
I never found anybody that actually got helped. And that's when, I was with them for like 5 years, and I finally walked. I said, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
wrong. It just was wrong. And so I with her, I went on a couple, and I did have, I think it was like the first one was really cool. We went to a historic house in the town I'm from. And I guess we were invited there. I don't know her side of it. So Margaret had this thing, a heavy piece of equipment, some kind of recorder thing. And it was on by the by the sink. We're all standing on the other side of the room. And all of a sudden that whole thing, just a piece of it, flew out of the machine and across the room. And I started laughing, but poor Margaret, she said, I just paid $300 for that thing. But then off. So it's like, okay, but that I don't really have, experiences much in, plus I'm a big chicken. So
Well,
it's like, if you guys, if somebody's with me, I'm fine. But if I have to, I won't even go to the bathroom alone in a haunted place. Somebody's got to
really?
be with me.
I know you go to a lot of events. Who is the most interesting person you met at one of the events?
I just lost what you were saying.
So you go to a lot of events.
Right.
Who was the most interesting person you've met at those events?
That's hard to say. I mean, I watching and listening to Arnie Johnson talk was awesome. Because I knew Deb. And we were friends. So listening to him tell the story, the real story, was, really awesome. But there's so many amazing people like Jimmy Pettitino and Johnny Zaffis, and they're all great. There's really great ones, and then there's people that you're like, okay, I'm not too sure about them, but they're nice people, But I don't know.
Yeah, I think I've talked to Jimmy.
Andrea Perron.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's amazing. He's so funny, and he's such a nice guy because he doesn't, with all the garbage that's going on now, he doesn't take sides, and that's a good thing. He stays out of things, but he's friends with everybody. He's so wonderful, and everybody loves him. I don't think I've ever met a person that said, "Oh, I don't like him. He's a whatever." He's really a good guy, and I'm trying to think.
Let's go with which event did you like the best? Which
event?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite to go to, and they canceled it as of this year. They're not doing it anymore. Was the Ocean State Paranormal Convention, because it's all for charity, and it's small, and it's not like you're isolated from any of the people. They're everybody's there, and they'll stop and talk to you or whatever. Everybody's normal. And then the second would be Bash, which you are coming to, right? Are you coming to the Gettysburg Bash?
Don't know, but we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
So
that one is 100% charity too, and they do so much.
Yeah.
And that's why I like them. I like the ones that are actually helping other people and not just pocketing money. I mean, they're all right. The others are, of course, making money, but these are going completely to charity. Nobody's making it.
Yeah, I know the Battlefield Bash, that
Any money.
one there goes to
What
multiple
else?
charities, not just one, it's two. So,
Right.
and
Yeah, there's the kids and the veterans,
It's
wounded
a week.
warriors.
Yeah, it's a week
Right.
after Carl's big event.
Oh yeah, in July down there in Paragould.
Yeah,
Where?
that's what I said. We
Paragould, Arkansas.
Arkansas 1 week and
Oh, God.
Pennsylvania the next.
We're down there with Scared City Productions and the Haya Nation with Santiago Sorello.
Mm.
Yeah.
Someday
Yeah,
I'll be
a lot
rich
of
and I
my
can
cousin's
travel all
coming
over.
to town on the 20th.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't even know
You
when.
got what, Carl?
Do what?
Huh?
I was just telling her about Paragould.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in Arkansas. It's in northern Arkansas. It's not too
Right.
far from where him and I met. But I don't know
Keep
if we're going to
freezing,
make
so I'm only
Gettysburg.
getting bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, we may not make Gettysburg this year. We want to, but my cousin's here on the 20th of July through that week through the 27th. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it's not off of our list.
Yeah.
But let's see what else Ron wants to know. Ron wants to know, what is your favorite piece of equipment?
You're freezing, so I'm not going to hear it.
What is your favorite piece of equipment?
My favorite?
Yeah.
Your favorite piece of equipment.
Okay, considering, yeah. Now, Margaret has everything. She used to be the equipment person for the group we were in. So when she left, that was the end of the group because she had the equipment.
Yeah.
But if I do anything, I like the ones that talk, not the ones that have all the radio.
Yeah. Yeah, the Spirit Box.
So there's Echo Box, but I don't know how to use it.
Yeah, Echo Box.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what we use.
And
If you don't know how
yeah,
to use the Echo
it's nice
Box,
and
me
clear.
and Ron can show you how to use that.
Okay, you'll have to.
Echo Box is real good.
And then I think it's one of the other apps is like Ghost something or other. And we did a thing again when we were still with that group. We were asked to by Hotel Hell. This place that they were going to make over. It's from 1774. It's a great little inn, and the food was really crappy, so they had Gordon Ramsay come in, and we got asked because the woman who ran the group, I guess she knew somebody or whatever. And so we went. It was Margaret and I and two other people from the group, and they wanted to give me sleep on the floor with the guys if I have to, but I am not going to have a room by myself. So it was Margaret and I shared a room, and the guy actually was a guy and his wife because the other guy couldn't come. And I forgot where I was going with this. But we one of the things we did was we just did we sat down and we had two different recorders going, two different things going, one Spirit Box and something else. And we were between the two. So I thought that was really cool. They were like, it would say, I can't remember the questions we were asking, but it was like, this would say one thing, and then this would give an answer that went right with it. So it was like, that was really cool. I think those other things are cool. The SLS cameras, the ones with the stick figures. Those are pretty cool. Yeah.
Yep. We use it all the time.
I feel weird. I feel like I don't know enough to, or like the things people that I go out with, there's too many people, and you can't, how can you do an investigation when there's 20 people all all over the place, you know. So,
You know, there's investigations and there's fun.
that's the fun, I guess. You know.
So sometimes it's an investigation, and if you got 20 people, there might be many investigations, but it's more for fun and team building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it is. And we've done a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why we've got so many friends.
That's one thing about, you know, having an interest in the paranormal is that I've made a lot of friends, and a lot of it came from Farrah and Ken's show. You know, you guys, and well, you know, Debbie and well, Jen,
Jennifer Malik.
I'm trying to think of it. You know, they're just a group of people from their show, and then others that I've met along the way. You know, nobody famous that I'm not friends with famous people or anything. And
well, I mean, technically we are. I mean,
you are.
We know
I mean,
Deb and Arnie.
Yeah.
You know, they ended up becoming famous. The Smurl family, we knew about them from Karen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so technically they're famous, but not TV famous. You know, and I know you've met some of the ghost hunters, haven't you?
The ghost hunters, like
Jason Hawes. Have you met him?
Not really, but I think he's going to be at the, well, maybe he's not. It's going to be at something somewhere along the line. I mean, I've met, you know, Cody and Satori, his daughter and son, future son-in-law, and I want to adopt them. I mean, I think everybody wants to adopt them, you know. Ghost hunters, well, Johnny Zaffis, of course. This, God, I can't. I mean, lower ones that aren't so famous, you know, I met a lot, you know. They all write books. Sam Baltrusis, of course, and Bobby Gallo and his family. Him, his wife, and his two daughters do investigations and stuff and write books. I don't know, because there's so many people that I've met.
Yeah. Didn't you go to Lorraine Warren's funeral? Was that you or was that Deb? Or both of you?
Wait, back it up again. It froze.
Okay, so didn't you go to Lorraine Warren's funeral?
Her wake, yeah. That's where I met Deb. I mean, in person, you know, because we had gone, and I thought it was going to be massive crowds, but it was not too many people, and I don't even I remember going in, you know, praying at the coffee, and then I started talking to Jimmy, and he introduced me to some people. And when we were leaving, Jimmy was outside. I wanted to say goodbye, and I'm going to find him because he was out having a cigarette. And I hear a woman calling me, like, I don't know anybody here at all. And I turned around, and it was Deb. So that's how we met in person. And you know, then we were supposed to get together, and that was devastating to me because we had becoming good friends, and then I'm a little pissed with Arnie because he was supposed to let me know where she's buried. I wanted to bring flowers, just put it on her grave, and he kept saying, "Oh no, I'm going to bring you there." I said, "Arnie, I just need to know where it's at, you know, what cemetery."
Yeah.
Now I haven't heard from him in like a year or so. When I see him, if I see him again, he's going to say, "Oh yeah."
It's not on Find a Grave?
I'll figure it out.
Is she not buried?
I think she's pretty darn. Everything was so private. We didn't find out until after she was, you know, buried and whatever. So I'm pretty sure I know where she's at. And if Arnie, you know, doesn't have time, which I don't mind, I don't need him to bring me there. I just want to go and pay my respects at the grave. And I even told Farrah, she's like, "Oh, bring a flower for me." And that's
what I would do. You know, just go.
Someday, maybe when Paul can drive again.
Oh, that should be coming soon, shouldn't it?
What?
Paul being able to drive.
I'm about to find out if we can sue the state of Minnesota. It's been well over a year that he's been going nuts with this, and we've got a lawyer who's not been doing anything. So I don't know what we're going crazy.
I remember that story.
It turned
Yeah.
a failure to appear 40 years ago in Minnesota for a DUI. He never got the notice because he was in the process of moving here to Connecticut. So he didn't know. And it took all these years for it to catch up with him. And I guess there's no statute of limitations on that. And we don't know what to do. So it's insane. And I told him, well, do something, because I'm going to have I can't do all that driving. I hate driving, especially places I don't know, and I won't go on highways, so we're stuck. Yeah.
I understand completely. I have a kid that doesn't want to drive on the highway.
I never did it. My first husband he was so anal about nobody can drive but him. You know, I mean, he didn't like getting in cars with anybody that was driving other than himself. And I never really had a reason. He was driving, so I never really learned, and it scares the daylights out of me. The way that people just zoom in front of you and try to kill you and push you off the road.
Yeah. Yep, been there, done that. So
every day.
And it's worse now. You don't know if they're high, drunk, texting, distracted by something else.
Usually on their phone.
Right.
That phone's probably the most dangerous thing.
How many of them are watching a video while they're driving?
No, right.
It drives me nuts.
So to get their license. And I'm like, it's not the kids I worry about. It's the adults, the ones that I see causing it all. So, and the kids at first, they're going to be good. So, you know, they want to make sure that they're not going to get in trouble. So
they want to make it 21.
Right.
Right. They want to keep their license for a while.
Except my granddaughter that was out there, she's 28 and still not driving.
Really? Huh.
Everything's showing. Yeah,
So,
I don't know what her problem is.
She doesn't need to drive. Why?
40-something. He still has.
Yeah, we know people who don't drive at all, and they're just younger than me.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think they have a desire. But when you think about it, car insurance, car payments.
Mm-hmm.
You got a little less freedom, but you got a lot more money that you get to keep.
That's right.
I don't know. Now, if you're using Uber drivers all the time.
I don't know. So, so you're going to Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. Are there any other events that you're planning on going to?
This guy Charles Rosnay, he's a DJ and he does events. He does Beatles things. He's an expert on them. He got together with this guy, and now they're the Shaman and the Showman, and they do this will be the third year. That one's going to be, when is it? I've got so much on the calendar because we've been trying to do concerts too. I don't remember when it is. I think that's our first event we're going to. And who's he got lined? I don't even know who he's got lined up yet. Can't remember. There's Charles. He's not a paranormal person, but the shaman part is this guy Tom. The archangel of the paranormal, and he does this down the rabbit hole thing, and he's a really nice guy, and he's a former corrections officer or something, and he used to do like profiling of serial killers and stuff.
Oh, but I mean, that's always interesting.
Yeah, he didn't hang with serial killers, but I mean, he had to learn how to do all that stuff, and so he takes all this. And he tries to help both sides, the spirit world and the people. So, and he seems to do a good job. He's really, really interesting. He's not one of the ones that are, repeating the same things over and over and over and things like that. And then I don't know who else is going to be there. God, the first or second year, he had the amazing, what's his name?
Was it a magician?
Yeah. And I don't know how he ended up. The guy's like in his 80s and he's amazing still. He can do wonderful things. But yeah, Charles puts on a good one normally. He had quite a few. He's got cryptid people. He's got I don't know who he's getting this year. I was gonna go, but when I found out that the entrance fee is $30, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. It's a little much.
Yeah, you said you're going to concerts. What concerts are you going to?
We've got Alanis Morissette and Joan Jett. That's going to be in New York at Jones Beach. There's that's going to be a good one. Shoot, see, I'm so I've got so much stuff. Well, the free one, which is one of the reasons I can't go to Florida on the 15th or whatever, I think it's the 16th, is Ace Frehley from Kiss and Slaughter and some guy I never heard of. But I get tickets from Mohegan Sun for whatever reason. Maybe they think that I'm a high roller when I go.
Well, casinos give away a lot of stuff. You might as well take them up on it. So
yeah. So that one, I said, okay, I'll go to that one. Or if we have to Uber, we'll Uber because I'm not driving.
Well, Ace Frehley seems to be a nice guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Since he sobered up anyway.
Yeah, right. And then Live Nation is starting $25 tickets for crap load of them. And so we're going to see what we want to go to and get those too, for $25, you can't go wrong.
No. Might be a lot of people there, but you can't go wrong. I mean, bound to find something good.
Oh yeah. I think one of the ones I already paid. The other one is, and that one I think is going to be a $25 wire together. And I think it's Earth, Wind, and Fire's the end of them. And at the end of the show, they're both going to be on stage together, both bands. It's supposed to be really good. I'm just trying to find people that I know I'm not going to ever see. They're going to die or I'm going to die. So
it's going to happen. We know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sometime.
So I had
I'm going to say we're probably going to have to go. Our daughter needs us. She just came home from work and she sounds like she needs us. I think we need to just go ahead and cut the show tonight.
Yeah.
So, but I'd like to thank you so much, Rosalie, for coming on. You did a great job, and I love your stories, and I can't wait to see you again. And I know neither can Ron. And tell Paul we can't wait to see him again too. Hopefully around your anniversary.
Maybe. I think we might have something. I might have something, I mean, he goes to the concerts, but not the paranormal stuff.
Oh, you know what? The paranormal's not everything. The friendships are what's great.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I go, I think, because I'm making friends and I like to see them. So,
yeah.
But, thank you. And I'm sorry, this is probably your most boring episode ever.
No, it's not.
We love every second of every single show. if she wasn't upset, we would be hanging here with you. But you join me every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central. This coming Monday, my guest is Ronnie D, I believe, of the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. He's the owner.
Another hospital.
And the Harrington Hospital, Old Harrington. No, it's Jessica Potter. We got Jessica Potter next week.
Yeah.
So
All right.
either way, they're both great. So join us at 7 p.m. Central every Monday night for the Paranormal Pride right here on the Bill of Rights Network or on my Paranormal Pride pages, whether it's YouTube or Facebook. And then join us next Tuesday night with Carl, Ron, and myself, and whichever guest I find. Always a surprise to everybody but me.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's even surprising to me. And join us at 5 p.m. Central in all the places that Carl's going to tell you about.
Right.
Okay.
You can find us on the Bill of Rights Network on Facebook, Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment's Facebook page, Things Network Facebook page. I forgot to put us on Japan Paranormal tonight. So we'll be back on there next week and stuff. But you can also find us on Born TV on Rumble, all the shows and everything. So everybody just have a good evening. Stay safe. Watch the skies for the storms that pop up anytime because we're in the spring season and they're popping up. So everybody have a good evening, and we'll see you next week here on Paranormal Nation Radio, Not So Normal. Everybody have a good evening.
Good night.
Bye. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.